Hey everyone, welcome back to Dragonfly Art Studio. This is Pat Gillette. I just want to speak for a little bit about how art transforms your life, and then we'll do a painting, okay? Art is doing art is one of the most powerful tools that you can have to transform your life. And when you transform your life, you transform your world. It changes everything. And this is so important in the world today, in the life we're living today. Doing art, you're consciously taking an inner journey to touch intuition, to get into your instincts. You're guided by something different, you know. You're stepping away from thinking, and you're going into more feelings, you know. You're judging everything by how it makes you feel. You feel differently when you're creating art, and you feel differently than from when you're out into the world, you know. It's a whole kind of turn around completely away from the world. It takes you quickly away from ugliness to beauty, from confusion to clarity, because you're thinking in a whole different way now, you know. You're not laying things out in a very orderly way at all, you know. You're looking at what one color is like next to that line and how the whole thing works together. You're not thinking at all. It's kind of coming from a deeper place, an intuitive place. You go from darkness to light, you know. It's amazing what it can do, but it's an escape from the world out there. You're walking away from that world where you really don't have a whole lot of power, and you're going into your inner world where you have all the power. You are the creator of your inner world. And doing it weekly is how I've always believed art should be done. You're exercising your creative muscle on a regular basis. You know, you stay away from techniques and skills, you can kind of lose them along the way, you know. You have to keep it up. You have to come back to it. It has to be like anything that you really want to do, you know. It has to be something that you practice, yet in a playful, fun way. Every short video you would get every Monday would be an easy play thing to try. When you do these things, you learn about yourself. You know, if it's about loosening up and you just can't do it, why do you need the control? All these things are reflective of how you approach life, you know. You learn about yourself in the doing of art. It's very personal. You start to look at the outside world in a different way, because now the outside world becomes your source for your creative life. Your outside world becomes the source of your nature and flowers and sky, clouds and beauty, and you bring that in to your creative world, and those are your resources. You take pictures of it, you start to gather things that you love, and then you create more love, you know. It all has that energy, it all has that kind of ripple effect. Why we create is very important. You can create art to live, and you can also do art because you have life when you do art. Life is your art. Life becomes your passion with art, you know. So I do both, you know. It started with my passion. I couldn't see a life without art. Art was always a part of my life. And so I lived for art, number one. But then I needed to sustain myself. And that's when I got into teaching. And then art became my livelihood. I became the teacher. My energy of giving was in exchange for support. And that's very important, you know. As we create this new world for ourselves, you want to support the things you love: art, music, movement, meditation, whatever takes you away from the wild west out there, the wild world, and brings you into your own inner peace and happiness and joy. That's your balance in the world. That's what you need to bring in. Knowingly, consciously bring that into your life, you know. And it makes all the difference. We're creating this new world, and it's a balance that's needed. It's healthy. It makes you happier, makes you a happier person, makes you look at life in a whole different way. So check out this new low price. I want to encourage as many to give it a try as possible, you know. And every week, every Monday, you get a short video or inspiration or background about techniques and skills, you know, because you are becoming the visual storyteller. That's what it's all about. You're telling your story. This is like a diary of your life, you know. And that's why when I do art here, you know, and I show you the things I'm into, it has to be about something that I've seen or that moved me emotionally. And there was a thundercloud, you know, that we had this last week, which was incredible. And so I'm going to go for that. Let's get you closer in here to our canvas. Get a bit more light going here. And it's always, you know, I honestly, I set this up ahead of time so that you guys can see this. And then this Facebook comes on kind of in a whole different way. I want to make sure you get the whole little canvas in. So we'll just keep moving you there. Okay. Let's give that a try. All right. So I have pictures of thunderheads, you know. I have inspiration around me. And I want to create the skyline that I saw, you know. Thunderhead, I have a few marks out here. So it's going to be a big sky kind of a thing. And I've done a little sketch. I have a little sketch off to the side and that I'm going to work from. And with that, I have a few things. I'm going to use oil pastels to kind of lay it out for myself. I want to have a bit of I'll even use Prismacolor. See, this, I'll tell you, this thunderhead came across, and it was like, came up huge, kind of drifted off to the sides, but it was just enormous. And it was moving our way, you know, and when it came through, it had some kind of things happening in through here. Kind of give myself some guidelines. So I've drawn a sketch. I have photos. And I want to kind of just give myself some kind of sketches in here that I can kind of follow along with and try to reproduce the color. I think part of the fun of it all is mixing colors to try to get the colors that I want. And let's see, from my sketch then at the horizon line, I've got a little bit of something kind of like this, and it comes kind of down, and something else happening. And you know, you don't have to know what every little single thing is. You don't have to be real detailed. You know, have a little bit something coming in this way, trees, things like that. Our neighbor's little barn, I've been putting that into a lot of the art lately. And the trees, they come kind of around it, and then the land around here kind of slopes. So like from here, kind of takes our eye in a bit. We have a bit of something else happening in through here. And a little bit something coming in through here. And then I keep in my mind's eye, I see a wondrous kind of teal color lake. Just because I like it. We don't really have one here. There are a lot of ponds. There are lakes. We live in a river town. You kind of get that kind of shape in. And there's this real cool color I like. It's kind of a teal. I'll just kind of put some of that in with the oil pastel. And then from there, it kind of comes down this way. We have a lot of hills. We live in the Litchfield Hills. So things tend to have hills happening, kind of intersection, kind of angle things coming in. And, you know, when I just quickly sketch it out, I really like it. It comes out so nice, you know. And so I like to try to stick to that. And okay, let's see what we do here. I have some of my favorite brushes. And I'm going to mix my own color. You know, I like to do that. I have a wet palette over here. And I'm going to mix a little bit of ultramarine and some of that New Viridian with a warm white. I've been playing around with some colors on a little paper. I wanted to have kind of a teal tone to it, but not a lot. And I'm going to start with that. Moving across. I like that color. And you know, painting shows your strokes, it's your movement, it's your body, it's your mark. Get some of that in. Around there. I like to mix colors right on the canvas. Some white happening in here. What does that cloud look like? Okay, I see it. There we go. You know, these thunderheads are so amazing. They look so powerful. And they just kind of hover. And to me, I'm always looking up. I'm always looking at the clouds. And we have some amazing skies. I want this to be real blendy looking, you know. So you kind of just keep moving in that way. And again, you know, I do these big paintings that take days to do. And here is kind of art play. From these, I get ideas for larger paintings. You know, kind of let your brush do the work for you. Let it do the blending. I like it a little darker at the top. Well, that's pretty good. I like that. That's okay. Okay, now let's look at this big cloud. The way this cloud is, I want to use a bit of the color from the sky because sometimes it shows through the clouds, kind of a thing. So a little bit of that lightened up a little bit. Kind of a slate color. And there's things happening. You know, probably would be a good idea to switch brushes. You know, I like to switch brushes. A little thinner, smaller one. So we got things happening in this cloud. Kind of billowy kind of things happening. Kind of, let's try a little bit of a lighter ultramarine a little bit. Get some of the wispies off to the side. You know, and when you're doing like a picture from your own life, you know, there's no right or wrong, you know, it's you, it's what you're interpreting. You're interpreting a picture. You know, you've got skills behind you so that you can interpret something that struck you, something that's interesting, something that you love. I have to do things about my life. It makes all my art more meaningful. You know, I date things on the back, and so it's like a moment in time. I kind of like that white streakiness in there. I kind of like this other kind of streakiness happening over there. You know, sometimes things happen and you just let them happen. Let's see. I have this new kind of a brush, a filbert. It's very soft. And I'm going to use that to get even more white going. The top of this cloud was like incredibly white. Just incredibly white. It was huge. And with showing the little house down there, you know, I hope I can give the appearance of huge. I'm going to use the smaller brush again. And, you know, sometimes you'll see a little bit of transparency coming through the clouds, and that's a good thing. And then everything kind of blends at the bottom. This is called scumbling. When I was in college, you know, scumbling, you kind of blend it with a dry brush. More of that. And, you know, when I'm painting like this, the world just disappears. The world out there just disappears. I don't know. It's gone. I don't care, you know. And I think this is a good thing. You know, if we're creating our own personal world here, make it good, you know. Let's see if we can get some more of this kind of thing going here. Different brushes give you different effects. And I've built up brushes over the years, you know. My Christmas presents are a list of art supplies. And that's just the way it is. So it's a little lighter again at the top, and then back to a little bit of that ultramarine kind of blending in and streaking out. You know, you start to Google things like thunderheads, and they like are all over the ballpark. I mean, they look like anything and everything. They look like UFOs and, you know, Close Encounters of the Third Kind and all this kind of stuff. So I mean, as long as you get something that you like going, you know, something interesting. Let's make this look a little. Depth coming in. So you just kind of keep going. Ooh, that has dark in it. And you never make a mistake because you can always paint over it, right? You know? Okay, that's coming along. Let's see, what do I want? I want more of the white coming in, and it's just kind of a streaky kind of a thing. In through there, and maybe another one in through here. Keep going with that horizontal. Keep blending things in till it looks interesting. You know, that's what you want. Let's see what's happening over here. Looks like a little bit more ultramarine and titanium white. Titanium white is a cool white, and let's see if we can. Oh, that's good. I was afraid it might be too dark. That's good. See, but there, you know, everything is fine. You can never, you know, make a mistake because it's your thing, you know. Let's blend that in with a bit of white. So what, you know, your painting shows your movement. I'll move differently than you do, you know, and that's what makes it so cool. Everybody's is really different, and no two people will do it exactly the same way. We can all look at the same picture and it can come out different ways. Okay, let's look at some of that horizon line. I think that sky is pretty well done. You know, sometimes I'll later on at the end add a moon, a crescent moon or something, and a few stars here and there. Let's look at the, okay, now what do we want for the landscape? Okay. I'm thinking we're going for kind of the, I'm going to take the same tones, the same Viridian and ultramarine and some Payne's gray, and kind of make my own kind of a green. I want something kind of deep, and just kind of, oh yeah, you know, I wanted to try something here. Just wanted to try a palette knife. Just kind of. See what that does. Because I want it to kind of be kind of straight across. Maybe a little bit more over here. So you kind of use the edge of a palette knife, you know, and bring it over and then kind of bring it down. Scooping up the mixed paint and just see what you got. And then I'm going to go back to that another. I really like these kind of pointed brushes, so I'm going to take some of that deepness and just kind of carry it through. We have a horizon line, but you know, who knows what's really happening with that. Get a little bit of kind of like maybe a tree line in through here. A little house. It's a cool little, like a garage barn or something. I like to put in our paintings. And then kind of switch over to a different kind of a green coming in around it. When I mix my own green, I like Naples yellow. And then I try different blues to mix up my own greens. Just add a little bit of Naples to it. You know, just so it catches your eye, is kind of something happening there. And do the same thing. Try a little ultramarine with the Naples. With all the horizon sky going across, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of something happening vertically. Back to a little bigger brush. When you have something you like, you know, keep it, work around it. Now we're getting to that lake. A little bit more of the, lighten it up with a little bit of something here. See, another thing that makes things work is to not use too many colors, sticking to kind of yellows and blues and the greens for a lot of this. Now, for that teal, I'm going to try a few things here. This is the oil pastel again. And then you go over it with white. Now, white. Oil pastels, you just need to clean it up a bit. You can wipe it off, paper towel, get the old color off of it. And then the white is my blending tool. I love mixed media. I use whatever will give me the result I want. I use all different brands of everything, all different brands of paint, all different brands of oil pastel. I always say use what you have, build up things a little at a time as you need it. Ooh, we got some blue coming in there. Oh, that's okay. Happy accidents happen. When I was back in Chicago, I did a lot of power animals, jaguars and wolves and things. And everything was mixed media. And see, now what I want to do with that is, I'm going to take some of the color and just kind of go over some places. It's a bit of a resist. And that's the kind of mixed media I always did when I did my power animals. It was always kind of, you get interesting effects. Kind of thing when people say, well, how did you do that? It's all good. Okay, we're going to leave that just like that. Let's get back to our painting where it's, oh, I know, yeah, it should have a little bit of darkness. A little bit of darkness towards the top. Kind of comes down to light. Okay. Now the rest of it I just kind of see as different. I'm going to try a little bit of ultramarine and a little bit of lemon yellow. Get myself a different kind of a green. How you hold a brush makes a difference. How you move it, go in the direction of the way things grow, kind of a thing. And that's kind of an interesting color. Maybe I'll carry some of that down in through here. It's all big one experiment. You have a sketch or you have a picture, and then when you get into it, it has a life of its own. Like there was this one painting I did, Starry Night. I thought it was going to be new moon on a summer night, and then when I was done, it called me back, and it needed it wanted, to have stars. It wanted to have Starry Night as a title. It just needed a whole bunch of other stuff, you know. So what you think, that's what the fun of, that's the magic. That's where the magic comes. If you start to listen to what you're painting or your art or your whatever you're making, whatever creative artistic thing is, you listen to what it wants. Ask it what it wants, you know. Treat it like an entity. And you'll get ideas, you'll get thoughts, you'll get concepts. And see, now I see this. I really want to lighten up this a bit. Make it kind of glassy, kind of watery. I may even go to a turquoise or something. But anyway, let's get back to the rest of it. Let's go, I want to go to a little deeper kind of a green, a little different kind of a tone. I'm always mixing colors, you know. You add different colors to things, and like a Prussian blue to things gives you a whole different look. You want contrast. You want something to be dark. You want contrast happening. So the shapes play off each other. Textures play off each other. I really like how this part really like that very much. So let's see if we can get a little bit more of that kind of thing going. Let's get I'd love to know what everybody's doing. If everybody's getting into, are you getting into doing art? Is it hard for you to get kind of back into it? See, now all these different tones happening and everything. I want this foreground to be brighter. Let's get a little bit, another kind of a, I want this to be kind of a lightening up a bit. As it gets closer to us, things start to happen. We start to see more details happening. This is the foreground. So you're always, you know, every painting you're creating an illusion. And this is the foreground. Things are closer to us. Things have things happening. and carry it through. And then with this other side, I want to lighten it up a little different tone. Some of the Naples. But you know, in the program, we do nature. Everything about nature. Clouds, flowers, a little bit of sacred geometry, all kinds of different things. My interests are in so many places. That's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. And then to make it seem even more detailed, close up to us. I'm going to put in a little bit of depth in here. Pull some things through. And then you want something in the foreground here that will catch our eye. So I'm going to take some of the, oh, I see my little house back there. There's a little bit of something happening. A little house. Little window, little things at the bottom. And then I kind of work into it with a pencil. Indigo blue. Works for a tree line. Oh yes, okay. I'm going to take one of these other brushes. I'm going to have some, I'm going to try a few things. This is cadmium red light. Like some flowery looking things. Wow, that's pretty much of a knockout, isn't it? Seen some pictures of like the Netherlands with things like this happening. And again, you know, doesn't have to be real detailed. Our mind puts together pretty much what it is. And then I think along with that I'm going to put in some yellow, some lemon yellow in a different kind of a stroke. Like they're a different kind of a thing. if you don't like something, rub it out. And let's see, I do kind of like that kind of yellow. Sometimes a broken line of something. Can be intriguing, kind of set up, you know, kind of things going back, things happening, and then you kind of get to a point where put that yellow line in through here too. You know, I always find a time when I'm done for now, and I need to take a step back from it and check it out and see what I like. And I have a feeling there'll be some more detail going on in this lower part, like maybe even now. Kind of using fan brush. Hope you're still with me. You still with me? There we go. And the fan brush. And just getting in some depth kind of things. Bringing that in through. I tend to like the corners to be dark. But you know, I didn't start with all these brushes, you know. I started on my dining room table and worked up from there. And you create a space for yourself where you can have your supplies out whenever you feel the urge to create, and you are on your way, you know, designated for yourself. I mean, you need a place in your home where that's yours for creating, you know, whatever that may be, a little desk or a little fold-out table or whatever. But that's the way to go. That's the way to, you know, have access to something. It'll always be there whenever you need it. So for now, I think I'm going to just kind of take a step away and check it out later. See, I always take a picture of it. I take a picture of it and I check it out like tomorrow, and you know, it'll tell me what it needs. So that's all for now, and I thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time and attention. It means a lot to me. And have any questions, ask on this Facebook page. And I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Have fun. Keep creating.